All right, let's go through this problem. This one is kind of tedious. It's not very difficult, but it is tedious. So let's read through it and then I'll go back and explain what's going on. So we have quadrilateral PQRT and quadrilateral KLMN are similar. Which proportion must be true? If you look at all the answers, these are just setting up proportions. You're not solving anything, okay? Now, we have to define this word right here, similar. Similar means that the corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, corresponding angles just means the angles that match each other in the shape. So these are both the same shape. To me, it looks like a kite. So I'm going to put that on there. So, but this one needs to rotate this way about 90 degrees in order to match this guy. Okay? But it's telling me that this angle is the same as this angle. That means the measurement of angle M, let's say it's 87 degrees, is the same as a measurement of R. So it's also 87 degrees. They are congruent. They are equal to each other. Okay? The other thing it's telling me is that the corresponding sides are proportional. And that means that, okay, this side is just to the left of that arc, and this side is to the left of that arc. So that means I can multiply this by some number to get this, or multiply this by some number to get that. And then I can do that with every single corresponding side on here. So the next one would be, say, 3 and 9 here. So you might be able to see this right away. If I multiply 3 times 3, I'm going to get this. So that's going to be my my rate for each of these sides. So I can multiply each of these by 3 and get the corresponding side. Okay, so let's see. So those are the sides. Corresponding sides are proportional. Okay, so the main thing is what we need to do is we need to, if you can't see it, you need to rotate this guy. I need to rotate it because it's easier for me to do. It's just more tedious if I don't. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to draw another kite inside of this one. I call it a kite because it looks like a kite. All right. So this angle corresponds to this angle, so that means it's also measured 87 degrees, and it is R. Okay. And then I'm going to go around this in a clockwise direction, and I'm going to label each of my angles. So R goes to T, and T goes to P, and P goes to Q, and then back to R. Now I'm going to label each of the values. So R to T is 4.12, and T to P is 3, and P to Q is X, and Q to R is 4.28. Okay, so that is the most difficult thing, in my opinion, that you do. All right, you could also set this up a little bit different way. You could maybe make a chart, and you can see in the original equation PQRT corresponds to KLMN. So P corresponds to K, Q to L, etc. Okay, so you could set up a chart over here. I'll just quickly do that just so you can see it. PQRT, and that's K, L, M, N, and that means each of these angles are equal to each other. And then you could even say, oh, okay, P to Q is X, and then Q to R is, whatever, 4.28, and go from there, and then use that to compare all your numbers. But for now, let's go ahead and just use this right here, and let's look at our answers and see what we get. So A says X is to 9, X is to 9. Okay, I'm not liking that already because I really want to compare this side to this side, because I know if I multiply this whatever this number is by 3, I'll get this, or divide this by 3 and I'll get this, okay? So I'm not seeing it. And then 4.28 is to 8.91. So they're comparing this to this, and then they're comparing this to this. So I think once you see this, you can see if I would have rotated this just 90 degrees, these would have matched up. And that may be what they're looking at, is maybe you don't rotate it, so you're going to end up getting this one. Okay, so that is not valid. The next one, x is to 8.91. X is to 8.91. I like the way that looks, smaller to larger. And then 4.12 is to 9. 4.12 is to, I expect it to be here, but it's here. I don't like that one. Okay, that's not looking good. Also, just to note, if you go smallest to largest on the first one, it also has to be smallest to larger on the second one, and vice versa. Okay, let's look at C. So we got 4.28. Y is to 4.28. Y is to 4.28. Okay, I don't like that. As 9 is to 3. As 9 is to 3. Both of them go larger to smaller, but this one isn't a good match. 9 to 3 is fine. So I'm going to say no on that one as well. And then let's look at D. Y is to 4.12. Y is to 4.12. That looks good. Larger to smaller. As 9 is to 3. Also larger to smaller. That makes sense. That works. Okay, this is our answer. Okay? All right, well, I hope this makes sense to you, and I will see you in the next one.